Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome back to the channel. We got an interesting development that is leading to some speculation of Crash Bandicoot number 4. It's about time. So, a while back, they finally officially announced Crash 4 was going to be coming out after some artwork leaks came out showing Xbox and PlayStation 4 would be getting this game. At the time, there was no confirmation of the Nintendo Switch getting its own version of the new Crash Bandicoot game, which was disheartening because the Insane Trilogy came out on the Nintendo Switch to great response, as well as CTR and whatever else is related Crash Bandicoot style. Crash fans, especially fans that play on the Nintendo Switch, have been clamoring for some information whether they would be getting It's About Time on the Nintendo Switch. And just recently, an interesting development happened in the world of Twitter. Apparently, a Twitter user found some data on the game's website page that hints towards a Nintendo Switch version. Now, let's take this with a grain of salt. There's no confirmation that a Switch version could be made. It could be a generic placeholder or anything like that. But let's take a look at this tweet. So this is from a Twitter user called Sunwerprower, and it was in Spanish or a foreign language. We went ahead and translated it. It says, inside the Crash Bandicoot 4 page, you will find a small remnant of Switch. More specifically, it is a script that includes the Nintendo Switch element. This component is the one who feeds the platform options menu. You could check it yourself. So if you look at these screenshots, they show some information here with the website coding and everything like that. Currently on the page, you can see it just shows digital for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and that is also the same with the physical because we showed the artwork. So right now, there's no confirmation still on the Nintendo Switch thing, and some people are actually getting pretty excited about this. I've seen other people speculating about it. For example, Smash JT made a video about this as well. So, like right here, Purify says, whoever coded the website must not know about client-side code or that sharing such things is confidential. Or maybe this is a strategically placed Easter egg from Activision. So, either way, it is probably safe to say that if Crash 4 doesn't come out during the launch of this game, you know, the same release window as Xbox and PlayStation, it's safe to say that it eventually probably would be ported over, just not right away. Again, the Insane Trilogy came out like, 6 months or a year after it came out on the other consoles. So it's very interesting to see this development, you know, people digging into website code this deep to take a look at it. Now, again, Nintendo Switch fans are often quite feeling like they're left in the dark when it comes to certain game releases that don't initially get announced for the Nintendo Switch, and that's because a lot of work is usually done in porting over games. Quite oftentimes, the games have to get a downgraded look. I think Crash actually looks fantastic as far as graphics go. I feel it'll be pushing the envelope as far as the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 go with their graphics cards and everything like that. The game looks fantastic. Just looking at it at the previous state of play that was just shown on the 6th, I thought it looked wonderful. It was colorful. It was vibrant. It was a great callback to the original Crash Bandicoot games. And who knows? Is Nintendo Switch going to be getting it? It could happen. It could not. So who knows? A lot of fans, again, have been excited. When I first reported the leak happening of it coming over to Xbox and PlayStation 4, I saw it on Reddit, on Twitter, of course. People were getting a good response to this. A lot of friends of mine I know grew up playing Crash Bandicoot games. Me, I was a Nintendo 64 guy. So even though I played it a little bit, I didn't personally grow up with that nostalgia feeling, and it's really cool that Activision is bringing back this old school feel and everything like that. And at this point, Nintendo Switch owners are clamoring for games, and if you're not going to throw in some of these third-party games that Nintendo Switch fans will buy up, because Insane Trilogy did good. It was a $29.99 game with the 3 original core Crash games, and I believe the racing game even did decent. There's a market out there, and if Activision ain't gonna jump on it ASAP, they could be missing out on it. This is an interesting time to wait for a game like Crash 4 to come out to the Nintendo Switch, in my opinion, because we got next gen coming out, and let's be honest, if they wait too long to port over Crash 4, if it doesn't come out the same time as the other consoles, they could be missing out on that. Maybe Nintendo Switch owners will be moved on to bigger games, maybe, Breath of the Wild 2 or a new Mario, or if a Switch Pro finally comes out, maybe they just will ignore getting Crash Bandicoot 4 on the Nintendo Switch, period. Or, let's be honest, people just might move on and be playing the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, or even the Series S, which is interesting at that time. So, there's a lot of stuff right here that is interesting. Again, looking at the coding, looking at the website, looking at everything about it. It just seems pretty interesting. It seems like people are having a lot of interest on this. There is no date confirmation, though, which is also interesting enough to remember about Crash 4, as there's no confirmation on a release date for this. I believe the window right now is October-ish for Crash 4, but there really wasn't a confirmation on anything, especially with the Nintendo Switch. So a lot of people could feel in the dark on this. What do you guys think about this interesting development? I'm interested to think. I think, you know what? It's not going to come out the original date. I think it's honestly just a website template that is generic, and they just copy and paste it, fill it in. And the reason why it's not showing up, the reason why it's just in the coding, is that Activision has it hidden because it's just a template. I'm not going to read too much into this rumor. I just wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's interesting. Again, my speculation is that it will eventually come to the Nintendo Switch. I know there's other ports of games and stuff that haven't even... I believe CTR was supposed to get a PC port, and that still hasn't come out yet. But it's funny enough on the Nintendo Switch. Again, if it does come out, I'm curious to see how the graphics would be impacted with Crash 4. I think it definitely will suffer a downgrade, which is unfortunate. You're a Nintendo Switch fan like myself. We often get the lower end of ports, which is why I kind of wish and speculate a lot that we'll see a Nintendo Switch Pro game eventually, or a console. But who knows what's going to be? That remains to be seen, basically. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a comment. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. If you think it's just speculation that means nothing, if it's a website template that is just on all the profile pages and websites that Activision makes, or are you curious and hope that this happens? Comment down below. Don't forget to leave a like or dislike. Help engage this video. Push it into the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.